So I was sharing some homeless people stories the other day, and it made me realize I should probably do a tier list on this because I worked a third shift job in the middle of the ghetto, so I have a limitless amount of stories to tell. So I jotted down a few that I can remember with some pictures to go along with them, and we're gonna go ahead and rank these. These should be fun. Oh yeah, this one is the bathroom incident. So I'm about to check out this customer who just came from the bathroom, and he's like, "Oh, so you just let homeless people get naked and bother your customers, huh?" So I'm like, "Oh, okay, wait, slow down, man." So I follow him back to the bathroom, and there's this homeless dude just straight up using our sink as a bathtub. He's got a washcloth, everything, and I can tell he had the hand dryer on to help him dry off. Half naked, allegedly was completely naked from what the customer was making it sound like. So I see him and I'm like, bro, really? Like, come on, man. And then the customer looks at him and he goes, "Man, why'd you have to touch my dick, dog?" And I'm like, oh, gee, you know what? No. I don't have time for this tonight. I'm not putting up with this. So I just immediately call the cops and let them handle it. I'm pretty sure this was the only time to where I just mentally checked out and I'm like, nope, I'm not even going to play along with this one, man. But it helped me realize I had a mental limit and it's left an impression on me. So I think it should go into a solid A tier. I think that's fair. Oh god, this one. So this is what I call the death stare. So I get a lot of tourists, so I'm talking to a tourist couple as I'm ringing them up, and this homeless dude just comes up to the register and just stares at me with a 1,000-yard stare. And that's all he does. He doesn't say anything, he just stares at me for a solid 30 seconds, I want to say. And then just calmly walks outside the building. And after he leaves, I look at the couple and I'm like, okay, I didn't want to say anything, but that genuinely terrified me. And they're like, dude, what was that? Like, did he need something? Did you know him? I'm like, I've never seen that dude before in my life. And I'm like, whenever you go to leave, can you spot me and look around and maybe see if he's still there? But they peek outside, they come back and they're like, dude, that guy is gone. It's like he never existed. And I have never been more terrified in my life. Like, it legit felt like a horror movie because I say crazy shit and I could tolerate other people saying crazy shit, but something about just being crazy and not saying anything and just looking into someone's soul is just uncanny valley. Like, it's extremely disconcerting. Like, you feel your soul shake. So I'm gonna put that in S tier because I've had nightmares about that dude for at least a day or two, thinking he was gonna come back and rob me or something. Oh god, we all know this guy that would come in extremely loud and confidently, and you knew he was about to steal something or just start some shit in general. But he comes in during the morning rush, right? So it's 6 a.m. and this dude goes straight into the beer cave, and I'm like, yep, I know what he's gonna do. Before my boss even gives me the signal, I'm already walking towards him. So I make him wait in line just to get rung up and say that he couldn't afford it, and then he left. And then right afterwards, I'm doing trash run like usual before I'm about to leave in the morning, and he's in a van with a bunch of his homies, and he gets out and he's like, "Hey man, can I talk to you for a second?" I'm like, "The fuck do you want, man?" And he's like, "Oh man, I just want to talk to you real quick. You know I fucks with you. Come on, hey, you doing trash, ain't you? Here, you want to talk to me by the dumpster?" I'm like, you know I'm not a fucking idiot, right? It's like, what you mean, man? I know exactly what the fuck you're gonna do to me when I get next to that dumpster. "Oh man, come on, I ain't like that." I'm like, well, if you want, you could ask me whatever it is you're about to ask me in front of this officer here, because right as I was about to say that, I look and a cop pulls up in a parking spot, like literally like 10 feet away. So I'm like, hey, you know, you could ask me that in front of the officer if it's okay. He's like, "Oh no, man, we cool, I see how it is." And then he gets in the van with his homies and fucking dips out. And I'm like, this dude was trying to fucking rob me, thinking I don't know the goddamn signs. I've been doing this for a while. I'm like, there ain't no way you're sketchy behind us bring me by a dumpster alone. Like, no, I'm not falling for that shit, man. But I think I'll put that in a solid B tier for bullshit. So it was just entertaining enough to be a baseline. Oh yeah, this one here has to be my best story. So I'm just doing my shift as per usual, and this one homeless gal that was chilling out there during the night was like, "Yo, there's blood coming out of the women's restroom." And I'm just like, you're fucking kidding me, right? Go over there, yellow brick road of blood coming out of the women's restroom. I'm like, oh great, this is gonna be fun. So I'm just like, well, it is what it is. I'm just gonna throw some paper towels and napkins on it and call it a day. I'm not touching that shit. But I'm like, all right, well, any hints on what this could be? And then she brought up the other homeless gal that happened to be over there, and she's just like, yeah, she was kind of walking funny, and then when I came in behind her just now, that's when I noticed the blood. I'm like, oh, well, great. So me being the guy that I am, right, I was raised primarily by women, so I'm like, she could have been on her period or something. I'm like, man, she's homeless, probably can't afford tampons or nothing. I'm like, you know what, I'll get her something. So I buy her some tampons, bring it out there to her. She's sitting down on the little like benches we got outside the building. And right when I put the box of tampons by her, the EMS crew and ambulance that usually chills out there during the night pulls up and it's like, excuse me, ma'am. And I look at them, look at her. I'm like, well, this doesn't concern me. I did my part. So I leave, go back to my shift, and a few minutes later, they come up behind me and they're like, yo, can you bring up some camera footage for us? I'm like, alright, cool, this is gonna be good, because I've done camera footage for cops, but never specifically for EMS and ambulance people. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a fun story. So they give me the time to look up, and that's when it all hit me and I realized what happened. So this homeless woman broke in to the ambulance vehicle as they're inside using the bathroom and getting food, you know. Took that opportunity to go in there, stole a bunch of shit, but I guess she was scared of getting caught and didn't have anywhere to go except the store. So she had the bright idea to get whatever it is she stole from the EMS vehicle and put it in her butt, which then proceeded to rupture, and then she just bled butt blood all over the women's floor, and that was the trail that we had found. And then I bought the other homeless lady a pack of Newports, and then she cleaned up the bathroom for me so I didn't have to, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, that was arguably the most American night in my entire life. So, yep, S tier immediately. Oh yeah, this dude was mentally hilarious. So I had this one homeless dude, right, that would come in with this fresh suit on, but he made the mistake and it was his only suit. So every time he would come in, I'm like, oh great, it's this fucking guy. He's gonna steal again, isn't he? So after about the third time when I seen him and realized what he was doing, I'm just like, bro, you're not fooling anyone, man. He's like, what do you mean? You come in every single time when I see you with the same suit on, and then I look through camera footage and I see you stealing. I told him, I'm like, bro, you couldn't at least get a different suit or something for like every few runs? Like, come on, man, you're not being smart about this at all. You're the only dude in a suit within like 15 fucking miles that's like, I'm gonna have my eye on you regardless. I understand you're trying to do some like psychology bullshit, but you know, it kind of doesn't work like that, man. But yeah, the suited swindler, I'll put in B tier. So one night I'm pulling up to work, and the first thing I see is this one lady sitting down with this one gentleman with some pretty nice clothes just standing up next to her. I'm just like, oh, yo, what up? But I go into the store and see the coworker that I'm about to relieve for the night, and I'm like, bro, did you see the hooker with her pimp out there? And he started laughing. He didn't think I was being serious. And I'm like, yeah, the one sitting out on the tables. And he's just like, oh yeah, they've been out there for a little bit. He's just like, oh, I don't think they do that, man. That's a bold take. And I told him, I'm like, bro, I could spot a pimp a mile the fuck away. Like, don't even play. Because they all have similar routines and trends, right? Like, when they send their bitches out to the store to re-up on supplies and shit, right? They usually try to pick places in which, like, they could see into, right? Whether it be, like, corner stores or gas stations now where they've got, like, glass throughout the entire thing so you can just kind of peek inside and see. And they'll be in the store getting shit, and then the pimp will be at the car, you know, making his calls, maybe talking to some people outside while watching his errand girl, you know, go about the store and shit, making sure she's not all fucked up or does something stupid or trying to spend or hide no money, right? But just their demeanor out there, I'm like, yeah, this is definitely a fucking bitch and her pimp. So he goes to leave, comes back a few minutes later, and he was like, you were right, that was a fucking pimp and a hoe out there. I'm like, see, dude, I fucking told you. You think I don't know this shit? Because he was about to get into his car, and he's just like, hey, yo, man, you getting off from work? Yeah, man, finally done for the day. He's just like, oh, hey, man, before you go, if it's something you might be interested in, how quick are you, man? What do you mean? He's like, oh, you know, like, how fast are you? And my buddy's just like, are you trying to do business with me right now? And the pimp's like, yeah, you know, something like that. You know, what you into? And my coworker just starts laughing, and then he came in, told me, and he's just like, should I call the cops? And I'm just like, I'll leave that to you. Unless they're fucking with people, you know, I don't see no problem. I deal with problems as they're presented. I don't go out of my way to fucking call the cops and shit. But a bitch and her pimp, I'll put it in B tier for bitches. Oh, this one was metal. So I went to leave work and I saw this broad passed out in her car while the car was still kind of running. But yeah, she was passed out in the driver's seat, and I looked in and her arm was still tied off and everything from injecting whatever it is crazy kids do nowadays. And I saw a couple customers up by the benches, and I'm like, bro, how long has this bitch been here? They're like, oh, it's been about 15 minutes, man. We even knocked on the window and she ain't budged. So I knocked on the door window a few times. Still no answer, and I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure she OD'd, so who's gonna call the cops? And I was actually walking around and talking to my district manager at the time. That dude's a fucking thug. We had the same mindset, so we looked at each other and we're like, rock, paper, scissors on who calls the cops and deals with this? And of course I lost, so I had to deal with the bullshit. Luckily I didn't have to answer too many questions. It was over pretty quick. But yeah, it was usually at least once to twice a month where someone would OD in the car. Still tied off and everything, man. Some people have no class. But because she possibly could have died, I'm not sure what happened after that. And it was just funny that me and my boss were on the same wavelength on how to handle the situation. So I'll just put it on A, just so A isn't lonely. You know, this dude was funny. So we all have those homeless people that have like catchphrases and like things memorized to say and whatnot. But he had like a comedy one-liner pitch, right? If you didn't give him a certain amount of money, or at least not enough in his eyes, he would be like, "Man, this is it. I can't even get no McDonald's, son." And like he would say that shit every fucking time, and it made me laugh so fucking hard. But I went to leave work and he came up to my car and he's just like, "Oh, yo, homie, you got you some money I can get?" I'm like, "You know what? Fuck it. You know what? I have $1 on me left over from getting shit." I'm like, "Here you go, man. Here's $1." And he looked at it and he's like, "$1? I can't even get no McDonald's, son. What the fuck am I gonna get with $1?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? Economy is in the fucking shithole lately. You know what? Let me get that $1 back. I think I have a 5. I could use that $1 to get me a little drink or something later." So I'm in my car, right? He hands me the $1 back. I look at him and I go, "You ain't getting shit. You don't deserve nothing." And then I roll up the window and I drive off. But yeah, this guy was great. I don't like panhandlers at all, but his catchphrase was so funny and he put so much oomph into it that every time I saw him, it put a smile on my face. So, but yeah, even though this dude never did anything crazy, it was still hilarious to me and left an impression. So I want to put him on A tier. I know a lot of you are probably going to disagree, but if it puts a smile on my face, higher on the list. My tier list, my rules. So I've only ever been mad maybe a handful of times my entire life. This guy caused one of those times. But this dude would always come to the store on his bike, you know. But on a smoke break, I was talking with him and he's just like, "Yeah, you know, I just deal on the side and shit. You know, I got a special needs sister and I gotta be around usually to keep an eye on her, so I can't get anything full time. You know, I'm just doing what I can, you know." And that might be stupid for some of you to believe, but it was actually a common occurrence in a lot of these types of neighborhoods. But what really hit home for me is that my little sister was special needs, both physically and mentally. So when he brought his life and lifestyle up and everything, yeah, you know, I get that shit, man. I really do. But fast forward a bit, and this other dude he was out there talking to, I'm like, "Yo, you happen to know that dude?" He's like, "Man, that dude's always running up and down the neighborhood, just bothering people." I'm like, "Wait, do you know about his personal life? Do you know if he has a special needs sister?" He's just like, "Man, that dude's an only fucking child, man. I don't understand why his parents put up with him." And the second I heard that, I fucking lost it. I went into the store, and we have these little metal bars that separate the hot food in our little, like, hot shoot container. I grabbed one of them, went outside, I looked at him and I'm like, "So you lied to me, huh?" He's like, "What you mean?" I'm like, "That bullshit you was giving me about your little sister being special needs, that was all bullshit, huh?" And he just started laughing at me, thinking this shit's funny, and I'm like, "Oh, having fun, are ya? You think this is fun?" So with that metal bar, I started beating the living shit out of his bike. I fucking tore off the reflectors, bent his tire up a little bit, and he starts kind of kicking at me like, "What the fuck's your problem?" I'm like, "Dude, that bullshit you was giving me about your special needs little sister? Yeah, the jig's up, man. I know you're lying." And I'm like, "Bro, my little sister is special needs. So you lying about that shit literally makes me want to kill you. So don't ever let me see you again." And I never saw him again after that. That was an interesting exchange. I definitely got some anger out in that day. You know, I'm not really good at handling anger because I never really get angry too much. So it was nice to have a little outlet for it. But yeah, I got to stick up for what small morals and ideals I have, and I got to shoo off a homeless person. So S tier, most definitely. Cool, I get to end it off on a softer, lighter note. This is my man Charles. He was one of the homeless people I actually knew the name of, but he was pretty funny. He got annoying and I had to shoo him off a lot because he would keep messing with customers, but he was pretty funny. But I guess he was strung out one day because he didn't get his daily amount of crack, so he decided to go up to a car full of these young kids, and he's just like, hey, I'll give you a discounted price on some booze, you know, I can go in there, I can get you some booze. And I guess they're like, "Alright, yeah, go get us some." So he goes in, steals a bunch of alcohol, gives it to him, and the kids just drive off without paying him. And he just starts cussing, ranting, and raving. He's like, "What the fuck?" And he starts just walking up to all the cars in the parking lot, just stopping them, just yelling at them to give him money and shit. And this went on for probably about 10 minutes before the cops showed up. And I'm watching the camera footage, showing it to the cops, sitting there laughing. I'm like, "Damn, Charles, you really fucking screwed the pooch on that one, man." But that was pretty funny to see a stereotypical movie crackhead lunatic just running around the parking lot, causing traffic to pile up. So that was pretty funny. But it was a long time coming. Sorry, my man Charles. I gotta put you in C tier, man. You's funny and all, we was cool, but you know, I gotta have a C and C. But alright, that should wrap up this one. It was 10 examples, so I thought that was good enough. But yeah, the bloody butthole homeless woman bandit and the lying homeless dude in which I had to destroy his bike to teach him a life lesson was pretty fun, and always I think about those a lot. So yeah, hope y'all enjoyed my crazy life and stories, and let me know which ones are your favorites. Y'all have a good one.